So welcome to this video in which I want to share with you 5 essential qualities that you absolutely must cultivate, nurture and develop in order to grow your business from a place of greater flow, enjoy more ease in your action taking and experience more peace of mind, which opens you up to greater creativity, more inspiration and all of that good stuff that will really take you to the next level in your coaching business. Now, in order to successfully launch your business, to take you to that first rung, if you like, of the ladder, you know that you need specific qualities such as courage, resilience, tenacity, determination. And you know you've got that in spades. You've demonstrated that throughout your life and your career and in your business up to now. And in our Western culture, we're very much revered and rewarded and celebrated for when we express those very masculine qualities. And we certainly need courage and resilience, of course, tenacity and all of those things when we're facing tough times, when things get challenging. And as well, when the challenge is an internal one, you know, when we're woken up in the middle of the night and we hear that voice, you know, the one that says, who do you think you are? Or you're not good enough. What makes you think you can be successful in a coaching business? So when that starts to happen, then we've been trained, we've been taught that the way to deal with that is to push through that voice, to push through those tough times. But this mentality, this kind of conditioned behavior, this conditioned default response, if you like, will only get you so far. It's not going to be the qualities that will take you to the next level in your growth, because that striving, that hustling, that pushing mentality will cause a yo-yoing in your business, because there's only so much pushing and striving and hustling that you can do before you burn out, before you start to get really exhausted and you hit that kind of the upper limit of your self-identity, or the fear of burnout triggers you and you begin to self-sabotage and you slow down. So it sets you up for this kind of perpetual yo-yoing in and out of action taking and self-sabotage. So if you want to avoid all of that yo-yoing, that frustration, the overwhelm, the constant need to feel like you're pedaling away really fast and striving, then you must cultivate these 5 qualities that I'm going to share with you now. These are lesser talked about in the Western culture, and yet they are so essential to your next level of growth and expansion and evolution. So what are these 5 qualities? Well, I've got them written down here. They're in no particular order, except I have left the one that impacted me the most in my journey till last. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive straight in. So the first one is presence power. So we've learned about goal setting. We've learned to, keep the end in mind and take massive action and face the future and be very forward thinking. And for many of us, if you're anything like I was, we deem a good day to be one in which we were super productive. Nothing less will do. The problem is with this kind of state is that our moment-to-moment activities become reduced to a means to an end. We're no longer experiencing life, and we spend too much time in the energy of impatience and rushing, thereby reducing our work to just again, a means to an end. We're not able to produce our best work. And when we're in that state of impatience and rushing and just wanting to be over there and not over here, we slow everything down because we're in that energy and therefore attracting more to feel impatient about. But then we become sort of prey to overwhelm, shiny object syndrome, and we identify with whatever chatter's going on because we haven't got that power of presence to detach from the mental noise. So we start to get sucked in and believe what's going on in there. Your power to create is in the now. Think Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, one of my favorite spiritual texts. I've read it many times, but he talks about staying present, this moment right here, right now. Take a deep breath is all there is. So staying present is equivalent to putting your higher self in the driving seat, quite literally. And when you can do that, when you come back to the present moment and you focus, you dial in your attention to what you're doing in this very moment, right here, right now. You operate with a greater level of awareness. You have that space between you and the mind chatter, so you can detach from it and not get so sucked into it. You operate with higher levels of consciousness and presence power. So that's the first quality that you must cultivate, and that's presence power. The second quality is self-acceptance. This is about fully accepting where you are without judgment. You know, it is what it is. Whatever the situation, it is what it is. So maybe, let's take money, your financial situation. Maybe right now when you consider your financial situation, you wish it were different. Maybe you judge yourself as being incompetent when it comes to finances, or maybe you feel ashamed because you have some debt. I mean, that was certainly my story some years ago. Constant shame because I had debt. If that's the situation and you do kind of self-blame or you feel ashamed, you're not operating from a place of self-acceptance. You are judging yourself. You've put meaning on your current circumstances that are not serving you and that are keeping you locked into the stories and patterns that created the situation in the first place. And so when you're operating from this place, you're actually operating from the problem, whereas you want to operate from the solution. So when you are completely coming from a place of self-acceptance, without judgment, this calms the nervous system and again gives you greater access to depths of compassion and creativity, enabling you to think from the solution. So it's really, really powerful. The third quality that you must cultivate and develop and flourish in your business in order to thrive is trust. Trusting of yourself, self-trust, and trusting others. So firstly, trusting in yourself is about heeding those intuitive nudges, those inspired ideas, creative downloads, and actually taking action when they come. These are the things that they tend to drop in those still moments, in those peaceful moments, or when you're high and happy, they come in. And when they come, you recognize them instantly as being truth. They just feel right. They feel true. But what tends to happen, the problem is we've not been conditioned to trust that part of us. We've been conditioned to step in with some rational thinking, with logical thinking, and this is where we start to kind of talk ourselves down from that high and happy state and filling our minds with doubt, and that kind of puts the brakes on that action taking. Again, it's that voice that shows up that says, who do you think you are? So I work with a lot of coaches who are deeply, well, I say a lot of coaches, I work only with coaches who are deeply committed and passionate about helping people. And what these coaches have done, they've navigated their way out of some struggle. They've learned that there is an alternative way to be, to live, to think. And as a result of finding their way out of their own struggle, they're really committed to sharing their wisdom, their experience, their knowledge. But there's also what I found, there is an inherent lack of self-trust. And that comes from those past experiences, those past hurts, those past betrayals. So a lot of my clients will come to me and they doubt, and this is quite subconscious, but they have this sense of self-blame for letting themselves get involved in this struggle in the first place, or staying in that place of struggle for longer than they really needed to, or that was necessary. And so there's a feeling of a lack of trust that if they allowed it to happen to them, it might happen again. So when it comes to self-trust, it's so important to just begin to heed those, as I said, those intuitive hunches, those creative downloads. And the minute you have one, take a step in the direction of that hunch. take some small action. Before the rational, logical mind comes in, you must take some action. Trust that this is truth. If it feels true and it's coming from that higher place, it came to you when you were high and happy, or when you were still and at peace, then that's going to be the truth for you. When it comes to trusting others, life may have taught you to be very wary. Your past experience may have taught you to be cautious around people, or perhaps you've invested in business courses where you didn't get the results you were promised. And as a result, you've lost trust in those coaches or those business programs that tell you, I can help you. So when you are in this kind of this energy of lacking trust, whether it be for yourself or for others, we actually attract that thing that we worry about, the thing that we think about, that we feel wary about. And because of that, we're going to attract more untrustworthy people, more untrustworthy situations, more evidence to prove that it's dangerous to trust. And you'll likely hold yourself back from getting the support you need, from getting the quality help that you need. So, not only, let me just check my notes, not only is the value of trust and in particular self-trust really critical to cultivate, because it's going to give you those inspired ideas and move your business to the next level. But also, if you want to attract clients that are willing to invest with you, that are going to trust you, you've got to trust yourself first. So it's the same kind of message as, if you want people to respect you, you've got to respect yourself first. You can only, attract people that can see your value and your worth if you have that value and worth, evident in your own mindset first. So people will only be attracted to you and trust you to the degree that you trust yourself. So I hope that last bit made sense. Okay, so the fourth quality is faith. Now, faith is believing in the unseen and the unmaterialized. And the problem we have, the conditioning that we have, is that we grew up hearing, I'll believe it when I see it. And faith is believing in it before you see it, regardless of whether it's evident or not. As soon as you believe it, then you will see it. It's the other way around. And, when I think about when I started my business, I didn't see myself, if I didn't see myself, running a business, if I did not see myself running a business, working on my own terms, serving clients back in 2014, do you think I would have made the leap and quit my corporate job? There's no way. I had absolute conviction. I believed in my business. I saw myself doing the things that I'm doing now. And I'd been in my corporate job for 17 years, straight from university. And so I was pretty much institutionalized. I didn't know anything else, but I believed in my business with absolute faith, and that was the only way that I was able to quit my job and take the leap into the unknown. It was all in here first. So faith will keep you going when life gets super tough, when things aren't quite, happening yet. And you're constantly being called to grow, constantly. You're going to meet up with challenges at every kind of twist and turn and fork in the road, including confronting your deepest doubts, fears, and insecurities. So faith is that quality where you just know, that everything is always working out for you and that your success is guaranteed. The only thing that you have to do continuously is put one foot in front of the other and never quit. If you never quit, your success is guaranteed, and it's having that faith, and that will keep you going no matter what is going on around you. Okay, so quality number 5. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this was the one that had the biggest impact on me and it was one that I had to learn on the job, so to speak. I had faith and I quickly learned to trust myself, but this quality of security was one that I learned quite literally whilst on my knees mid meltdown. So at the time I was riding the feast or famine roller coaster, I had no clue where the next bit of money was coming from, which was scary because I was divorced, freshly divorced, and so therefore, single mum of 2 children. And I relied on my coaching business income. It was the only income coming into the household to put the roof over my head, to make sure that my children had food in their bellies. So I was scrapping around, robbing Peter to pay Paul, borrowing on credit cards. So at that time, life felt inherently unsafe. And I wanted more money to feel secure. I needed my mortgage to be paid on time in order for me to feel safe. And so what I was doing was constantly trying to control and manipulate everything around me in order to feel secure. And it was in one of my darkest moments that literally was like one of these like lightning bolt epiphanies when I heard the words source to self repeated over and over and over in my mind. Source to self, source to self. And I had this realization that I was literally giving my power away by seeking external experiences, external realities to feel safe and secure. But I had to realize, I had to get to that pain point to recognize that no, that's not the way it works. I am the source to self of everything I need and desire. We can never attract that which we don't inherently feel. So it's only when you feel secure first that you will attract more to feel secure about. More security. You will attract more security when you feel inherently secure. So when I kind of got this, it was instantaneous transformation. And I realized I needed to let go of this need to control and to go within and heal those parts of me that did feel inherently unsafe, that felt insecure. And so the important thing with this final quality is really coming back to the basics that you are energy, you are spiritual, a vibrational being. You are the source of everything you desire. You've got to feel it, because when you feel it, then you'll become it. And when you become it, then you will attract it. So it's so important to understand this nuance. So just by way of kind of wrapping up, summarizing, 5 qualities that you must cultivate and develop in your business to get you from where you are to your next level of evolution and expansion and up-levelment are those more feminine qualities. First one was presence, power, coming into the present moment. The second one was self-acceptance, so accepting where you are without judgment. The third one was trust, so trusting yourself and trusting others. The fourth is faith, so believing in the unseen, believing before it's materialized, then you will see it. The moment you believe it, then it will begin to manifest in front of you. You're ready to receive. And the fifth one is security, so not looking to external objects or material things to make you feel secure. That will never ever last. You've got to nurture your own internal sense of security and safety, and then you'll be a vibrational match to everything that will provide even greater security and safety. So guys, I hope you found this helpful. These were game changing for me over the course of the years of my business. It's enabled me to really evolve and grow with more flow. So have a great rest of your day. If you've got questions, comments, I'd love to hear from you. Put them below and I will speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.